Thanks for tuning into Electric Bike Journal. In this video, we are going to review the Aventon Abound SR. New for Aventon's cargo lineup is the Aventon Abound SR. This is a little bit of a shorter version of the Abound that they came out with last year that we reviewed, and you can go ahead and watch that video on our channel. And the Abound has been a bike that is still in our fleet, and one of our test bike riders is enjoying that bike. So we are excited to see when they announce the Abound SR to see what this is all about. The Abound SR is a class 2 or 3 e-bike, depending on how you set it up in the menu. The motor is a 36 volt, 750 watt rear hub motor with a peak power of 950 watts, and this motor produces 80 newton meters of torque. The battery is an Aventon 36 volt, 20 amp hour, 708 watt hour battery. Both the battery and the bike are UL certified. This bike features a new display unit to pick your 3 levels of pedal assist along with seeing other information. You can also connect to the bike via Bluetooth and the Aventon app to fine-tune your pedal assist settings as well. The Abound SR is also equipped with the new Aventon electronic control unit that offers intelligent safety features like 4G and GPS tracking, remote locking, and an alarm system, and much more. The handlebars are BMX style handlebars, and the quill stem has up to 140 millimeters of vertical adjustment. Up front, there is a suspension fork with a lockout, and the suspension seat post has 50 millimeters of travel. The drivetrain is a Shimano Altus 8-speed drivetrain, and it uses Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with a 180 millimeter rotor up front and a 203 millimeter rotor in the rear. It has 20-inch wheels that have 20 by 30-inch tires with reflective sidewalls. There is also a front and rear light. Accessories that are included with the bike are the rear rack, the fenders, rear wheel mesh guard, and an E-lock kickstand. Accessories that we got with our bike are the rear captain's chair seat right there, which comes at a price of $135.99, as well as the passenger pegs down below come with a price point of $23.99. There are a handful of other accessories that you can purchase as well, like a front rack with a front basket and some panniers with a few other various things that you could get to outfit this bike how you would like it. There are a lot of security and connectivity features, and I couldn't remember them all, so I'm just gonna read them off my phone really quick, just to give you a quick overview of what they are. Some of the security features are, there's a security verification, remote lock, which you can do from the app, the E-lock kickstand, a battery lock, alarm system, geofencing, startup password, a remote shutdown, and theft detection. As for connectivity, it gives you a lot more features that I haven't played around too much with, but I would love to deep dive in a lot more. Just gonna have to get a little more info and trying of that all out. But some of those connectivity features are GPS tracking, 4G cellular communication, Bluetooth authentication, riding data logging, ride statistics, abnormal event logging, over-the-air updates, and power off status reporting. So there are a lot of things that you can get when you connect this bike. You can do that through the app, and that's something that we want to play around with more, but we were mostly going over with how this bike rides and connecting to the app with the different features that you can do for the riding of this bike. The Abound SR weighs 80 pounds and has a total payload capacity of 440 pounds. That is rider, passenger, and cargo. The estimated range is up to 60 miles, and it comes with a price tag of $2,199. There are a lot of things that we enjoy about the Aventon Abound SR, and straight out of the box that you can see it is a very well-built bike and that it was built with intention. With having experience on the original Aventon Abound, it was nice to see that they made some key changes to the bike that just make this bike a little more usable and a lot more functional for the everyday rider. The finish of the bike overall is very nice. We do like this purple color. I'm just personally a fan of purple bikes. I have a couple of them myself. And the components that they picked to this bike are really nice. The Shimano Altus 8-speed has a good range of gears, and having the larger rear brake for the Tektro hydraulic disc brakes does help with that stopping power, especially when you're gonna be carrying some cargo on there. As for the fit of riding this bike, I come in at 5'8", so I do enjoy having a step-through bike, especially for a cargo bike. So getting on this bike right away, all I had to do was adjust the angle of those bars on there, and it's cool having those BMX-style bars. They just look neat, and they're kind of nostalgic looking as well, but they also are comfortable. They aren't too wide or too narrow, and having the adjustable quill stem on there will make this bike more usable for multiple users in a house. You have some pretty decent room on that seat post to raise and lower it, as well as that stem. So if you are going to be using this with multiple people in a household, this does give that adjustability to be able to use for a few different people. The new smaller screen that is on this Aventon Abound is nice and small and sleek. It fits very nicely on top of the bars, and the display is just big enough to see that crucial information. If you want to deep dive into more of that information and easily set up different things on the bike, it's cool that you can connect to the Aventon app to see a lot more of that information and deep dive into those stats that might be a little hard to read on that smaller screen. After the initial ride I took this bike on, I definitely wanted to get into the ride tune aspect of the Aventon app, and I did just easily connect via Bluetooth. You just scan a little QR code on there, then you can get into that bike and you can tune the characteristics of the pedal assist. For me, I like to have power right away when I start pedaling, so I turn the pedal response up to 100% on all of those modes, and then right away when I start pedaling, I do get a nice feel of assist. When adjusting that pedal response, it's not giving you like the full power. If you go to 100% of the motor, you change that in a different area where you can change the settings of Eco, Sport, and Tour to 30, 60, 100%. And if you really want to just keep this bike going fast all the time, you can tune those up as high as possible. You will get less of a range out of the battery on that, or you can even tune it lower if you live in a flatter area and really want to maximize the range of this bike. With having the 20-inch wheels and that shorter wheelbase on this bike does handle well at low speeds when you are maneuvering in tighter areas, and that is a bonus if you're going to be using this as a daily to take to the market or ride in the city. I did change this to a class 3 bike with pedal assist that will take me up to 25 miles per hour, since that is legal in my area, and it just felt good to be going that fast on this bike. Didn't feel uncomfortable pedaling at that 25 mile per hour limit, and even when I was getting on some of the steeper downhills, hitting upwards of 32, 33 miles an hour downhill, the bike handled well also. It does, respond pretty quickly since it does have that shorter wheelbase, but nothing uncontrollable and unsuspected. Speaking of going fast, when you are going fast on those downhills, these brakes do a good job of stopping you, and you really want those brakes to stop you well, because if you're carrying cargo on there, it's gonna affect the braking power of this bike, and these bikes can get going pretty quick when you have a lot of weight on them. This bike does come with that rear rack, so you can set this up with a variety of different accessories to your liking. In our situation, we have the captain's chair with the seat pad, and that is cool because you can get a passenger on there, and it's a little close, but if you have a smaller passenger, they can sit on there comfortably. This doesn't have any full enclosure or anything like that, so if you do have a passenger on there, it will be good if they have been on a bike before, or you just make sure that they know not to slide forward or anything like that. We do have the foot pegs as well, so they have somewhere to put their foot. With this captain's chair, I was also able to just put my backpack on there. I had one strap going around, and I could strap my backpack on there, no problem. That way, when I'm riding to the grocery store or just around town, I don't have to wear the backpack. It just straps and fits nicely right in this captain's chair. With the ability to add the other accessories like a front rack and a front basket, or even you can make your own thing in the back. You can get panniers from them as well, but that won't work with the captain seat too well because the passenger won't have anywhere to put their feet. But if you have all these accessories, it's not too difficult to take them off and change them to your needs. Say you're gonna take it camping and you don't want the captain's chair. You can take that off, mount a rear basket on there, put your firewood in there from the camp store or something like that, and enjoy it that way, or just use it however you want to do it. They also have just a seat pad that you can put in the back, so you don't need to have this whole seat situation, and someone can just sit back there and enjoy the ride. Like mentioned earlier, there are a ton of tech features on this bike, a lot that I haven't fully been able to dive into. But one thing I do like is connecting to the bike via the Aventon app. There are a few settings that I put that are kind of neat, and one of those is that locking kickstand. So I have it set up right now so when the bike turns off, the kickstand is locked, so you can't put that kickstand down so the bike won't roll freely. That's nice to have just as another deterrent for someone who's maybe wanting to move your bike or take your bike. It's fully not going to be a theft diversion, like you can just pick up the bike and take it, of course, but you don't want to leave that as your only form of security. It's just another step that you can have when you want to lock your bike up, of course, when you go there, but having that kickstand locking there is just another deterrent for someone who might be trying to take your bike. Another cool feature is the audible alarms that you can get. Like if someone's trying to take your bike, you can set it up to have some kind of motion detection and it'll beep, which could help deter some thieves as well. The front suspension and that suspension seat post do help dampen those bumps in the road, and that is just another nice feature to add comfort to your riding on this bike. There really isn't much we can say that we don't enjoy about the Abound SR. It is a nice upgrade from the Abound in tech features and whatnot, and it's cool to see that companies like Aventon are going those extra steps to keep your bike more up to date. You can do those over-the-air updates on the bike, as well as have some theft deterrent and tracking on this bike. It's cool to be able to go in there and tune your ride through the app also, and it's just overall a fun bike to ride around. It's quick, it's nimble, and it is fairly small as well, so it fits in those nice tight spaces if you're short on space in your garage. One of the only things that is not really an issue, but just something to note, is this bike does weigh 80 pounds, so it won't fit on the typical bike rack that, you know, usually 50 to 60 pounds. It is a bit heavier, so if you are going to be bringing this with you, you're going to want to put this in the back of a truck and strap it down, or if you have a van or something like that. Not the most portable bike to bring around, but I think it's meant for riding, and this bike can definitely take you all around town with ease and even get you up some of the steeper hills that we've been testing this bike on. Thank you for watching this review on the Aventon Abound SR. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and continue to make videos like this so we can keep on bringing you more cool new bikes.